Most kids, teenagers, they're worried about their homework, perhaps making time for friends, maybe sports. There are some who are worried about where they'll sleep and if they'll get to eat. And that's why today they rally all to end youth homelessness. It's something that's happening here in San Diego. SBC's Mindy Wright and Alexa Colmenares, a peer support counselor, are joining us this morning to talk about this very important issue. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Thank you for having us on to talk about such an important issue.
No, I'm glad we are. So let's start with you, Mindy. So we understand November is Runaway and Youth Homelessness Awareness Month. And tell us about this issue and what you're doing to hopefully change this.
Yeah, thank you. SBCS actually started out as a youth drop-in center in Chula Vista in 1971, which means that we've been dealing with helping this very special population for 50 years. So obviously, youth homelessness is not new to San Diego. We're still seeing people come to us needing help with housing insecurity for very similar reasons. People find their way to us because of family instability, financial instability, at times family violence, and issues like that. What has changed a lot in the past 50 years is actually how we address it. We address this in a much more sophisticated way than only worrying about getting a roof over someone's head. We're also making sure that they have all the other resources that they need in order to stabilize and move forward in their life. Obviously, these young people, teens, early 20s, it's a really formative time for them. It's a time where they really build towards their future. And we want to make sure that they have the therapy, employment assistance, education assistance, that their other family members are taken care of so that they can really work towards that.
Yeah, I'm sure
youth homelessness. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to include Alexa in this conversation as well, because Alexa, you've had a very unique journey to get you where you are today. Now a student, a peer support counselor with SBCS, excuse me, which is incredible that you're able to do that. But let's talk about what got you there, what you went through as a young person.
Before I became a counselor, I was formerly a SBCS client. My homelessness started very early on in my young adulthood. I was barely a senior in high school, and I experienced severe housing instability, such as homelessness early on with family. I'm a DV survivor, and then substance abuse. So it just wasn't a safe place to be. And then eventually I ended up running away. But I was homeless for about 2.5 years,
Wow.
or almost 3 years. I didn't get connected to services until 2020, May of 2020. I don't think people really talk about how hard it is to get services as a homeless person.
Right.
Simply because you don't have money, and it really degrades your mental health.
I'm so sorry, Alexa, you went through that. To think that long, for 2.5 years, trying to find a place to sleep at night, trying to find food every day.
Correct. Yeah. There were multiple times where I was trying to figure out where to shower. Food was constant. Always constant. I always worked because I knew I needed to eat. But having a stable place to sleep, that was always a mystery. I was always figuring out where I was going to sleep. I survived off of couch surfing for a while. And then, of course, trying again with family. But, of course, there was still trauma. And it continued to be a cycle. So that's why it prolonged my homelessness, because I was wanting reunification, but it just didn't work.
Oh, Alexa, you're so brave for being able to share this, and I think it helps a lot of people to realize that this is happening. This is something that you've struggled through, and people are going through it too. How do we help people? I mean, what do we look for? To think that you've gone through this for so long without being able to get that help you needed. What can people do right now?
As a young person, I would say if you're in school, there are definitely people there that can help you, especially school counselors. they are meant to be confidential. But I would just talk about your situation or be brave. I would empower youth to go and talk to their school counselors about resources that they could access, especially when they don't know where they're going to sleep, or maybe they're sleeping out of their cars. School is a great resource. I think that's a great place to start. That's where I started.
Right. Okay.
Where else? Apply for EBT. That's what I wish I did
EBT.
before.
Okay. Yeah.
Because EBT, that means that you're going to be eating good. Like you get free groceries.
You get groceries, so you don't have to stress about that on top of everything else. You know, and obviously SBCS helped you out, I'm sure. You know, right now there's going to be a rally. Why is it so important to support this cause?
I think it's important because it lets youth know that there are people out there for them. Yeah. That want them to succeed, and you deserve to succeed. I think being homeless for so long convinces you that you can't really achieve like good things. You can. There's like still a chance, and every day is a reset button. So there are still people out there that believe in you. You just have to be brave enough to reach out.
Wow, Alexa, that says it all right there. Mindy, of course, as we want so many people to obviously help out, tell us, you know, being part of this rally's one way. What else can people do? What should we know about?
Yeah, definitely learning about the issue. As Alexa stated, it might look different than you think it will. Homelessness doesn't necessarily look at sleeping on the street or sleeping in a shelter. It can mean different things like couch surfing or staying with friends and family intermittently. And even if your situation isn't so dire that you're sleeping on the street or something like that, there's still services that can be accessed. And people can learn about those on SBCS's website. We also offer services that are specific to specific populations that are especially vulnerable, such as LGBTQ. So it's a great time to learn more about it. People can go to sbcssandiego.org to learn more. Of course, donations are always helpful. And just getting involved. There are lots of volunteering opportunities, and just being a support system to somebody in your life or somebody that you know that might be experiencing this, to help connect them to resources and give them that encouragement that they need.
Yeah, so many kids and teens, of course. Everyone deserves a healthy, safe life at home, food, all of that. So thank you for what you're doing. And Alexa cannot thank you enough for your bravery coming forward and being a peer counselor now. I think you're going to help a lot of people with what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.